Hello, beautiful people. How are we all doing? It's another Saturday. A beautiful day again. Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining. I'm really excited. Yeah. Let's talk with my gosh. We're having another amazing guest person, Abeng. She's going to be sharing so much with us. She's already here, and I can't wait to have her off. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm really excited.
Hi.
Good evening, VA. How are you
Good
doing
evening. I'm
today?
fine, thank you. Sorry, permit me to keep drinking on your live. I am so hungry.
It's fine. Enjoy. Enjoy. Nice to
Same
have you here. How have you been?
here. I'm great. I'm awesome. Stressed but happy. Happy to be here.
It's fine. So much work, right? So much work.
I mean, it's like
Thank
I
you
traveled
also.
to Morocco and then after traveling, everybody now decided, oh, they're going to punish me with work.
It's so much love. It's so much love. You have been so amazing. And then what do you get from people? Everybody wants you to do stuff for them.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fine. I would like to know you more. You came earlier. I've done a brief introduction of you,
Oh no, go
but
ahead. I'll do your
yeah.
brief introduction. Please. I won't stop you.
Okay. So this is VA, as we all know, Blessing Abeng. She is a brand and communication expert. She helps brands to know their unique interests, help them navigate through and communicate with investors, their employees, and all that. She has been doing so much. She has been doing so much. And then I thought to have her here so she can share her experience. And yeah, you learn. You learn so much. So, BA, tell us more. Let us know more about you.
Abeng, everybody here on this Instagram street who are my neighbors call me BA. It's easier, really. And what I am known for is branding and communications. Literally, I just help people find their value, like the value that they have to offer, and then I help them communicate that value to their stakeholders and people that they need to communicate that value to. I think that's the simplest way to put it.
Hmm. Yes, it's been amazing. I see there's so much work you've been doing. I came on Instagram and I've been able to learn so much from you. And over the time, working on it has been so impactful. I've
So happy
I've
to
been
hear
able to
that.
do so much for myself. And I'd like to know how you've been able to find solutions to different problems that people bring to your table. I know so many people would come, yeah, do this for me. What do you say about this and all that? How do you give them solutions to these things?
Okay, I feel like first there's like the experience part because I've done so much for different demography of people. Say I've worked with small businesses, I've worked with multinationals, I've worked with nationals, and local people in the company and in the industry. I've worked in an agency, I've worked on the client side. I've really worked, really trust me, I've worked. And I'm
Yeah.
consistently improving myself. I'm consistently learning. I'm always finding new things to do, finding new ways to do things and consistently experimenting. I've had a lot of experience. And so by having lots of experience doing all the things that I do, what has happened is I've been able to go through some of the problems and I've been able to find answers because sometimes the questions that they ask me are questions that I've probably had myself or questions that I've experienced in some way from a client or by myself. And so I could give that as a solution. But in times where I don't know the answer, I could easily just say, you know what, I haven't experimented that and I'm going to go back, try it, and then come back and tell you what happened. And then when that doesn't work, I could easily just say I don't know. Like people ask me about different types of things, like beyond branding, communications, and all. People ask me about a lot of things. Like they ask me about cats, they ask me about food,
Hi.
they ask me about traveling,
Well,
they ask every. I'm telling you, they ask me about marriage, they ask me about so much, right? And so just
uh,
my experience helps me answer, but the things that I haven't experienced, I'm not afraid to say that I don't know, and then I go
mm,
give the or point them in the direction of someone else who knows more than me. So those are the three possible ways that I answer those questions.
they're really amazing ways. They're really amazing ways. And the part where you mentioned that you try to share from your experience is what I really like. I resonate with because people will just ask you random questions, and if you've been able to answer those questions through communicating with other people, yeah, you'll be able to just give them the solution. It's very easy. So how
Mm.
long have you been doing this? I don't know how long you've been on the graph. I don't know how long you've been doing
Um,
this. How long?
oh my God. I think I started in 20. I think I found my first employment. Well, not my first employment letter, but my first employment letter in the communication space. And it was in 2015. I was like, yeah. My first employment letter in communication space was like 6 years ago. God, 6 years is a long time.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
a long time.
But I also realized that with branding and communication space is also not about length of time, but like amount of projects that you've worked on. Because like the more you
What?
work on projects, the wider your horizon is broadened, the more you take on new challenges and the more you get to know. So like knowing like the number of projects that I've worked on has really, really helped me in developing me a little faster than people who have also had 6 years experience.
Mm, mm. That's really so much. That's really so much. Okay, I told you that this section is for you to talk about value discovery, and then it's a review of your books. You just tell us about your book, and I want people to get it. All right, I
Have
want
you read
people to
it?
get
Have
the
you read
book.
the book?
Yes, I went through the book. I went through the book.
Oh,
It was
what did you
so
pick out of it?
amazing.
What did you take out of it?
I like that it's a template, like it's a guide. It helps you to find out meaning. If you have so many talents, and then you don't know the one to pick and you don't know where your stand is, that book would give you an absolute solution. It will
Oh,
give
that's
you a
good.
solution. So yes, so I like that
Honestly,
part, and I
it
want you to
reminds me
talk
about
about
why
it.
exactly I wrote it, actually. So I think maybe I'll
Yeah.
start by talking about why I wrote it. So in
Okay.
2020, I had written, actually, no, I attended a class. I attended a class by someone, and 2019, actually, I attended a class by someone. And at that time, I just sort of felt like, oh, maybe I don't really know branding. Imagine, at that time, I had 4 years of experience. And I just was like,
Mm,
maybe I don't really, like, maybe what I know, everybody knows it now. So that's my vibe. I was thinking, everybody knows this branding that I'm going to talk about. And so I attended a branding class, taking another lecture to go and learn more about branding because I really love
yeah.
to learn. And so I got there and they were teaching things that I already knew, and my eyes were just turning like, are you serious? This is what
Yes.
everybody paid
Yes.
money. This is what everybody paid money for. And
It
people were really
has.
asking questions like, oh, what about this? How about this? Well, how can I do this? And the questions I was even hearing from people was so weird. I'm like, so people ask these things. And it was weird to
Mm.
me because I mean, I know that people need help branding, but I didn't think that people like I thought people would just
Teach
Google it. You know, I think that's the
solution.
easiest way. It's like if you have a question, sure you just Google it, and there's so much resource on Google. However, I found that it wasn't like that. People just really wanted to hear someone else say it. People also wanted personal touch. They wanted somebody they could ask follow-up questions. They wanted more, And it wasn't just
Mm.
about the answers, it was also how the answers were being given to them. And so I decided that I was going to do my own. And I went ahead,
Okay.
I did my own training. And no, I think one person registered, only one person. And it was so painful for me
Mm.
because I'm like, I know this thing. Why didn't people register? And then I realized that my Instagram was full of Zanzibar trips, food, shop life, enjoyment, but not enough
Mm.
about branding or anything that I knew about that. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to teach people everything that I know, as much as I know about branding and
I
communication.
know.
I'll tell them everything that I know, and then hope that someone will be interested enough to ask me follow-up questions. And that's what happened most of my 2020, from 2019, like end of 2019 down, actually most of my 2020. And I saw the difference. One of the questions that now kept coming up was that a lot of people thought, oh, I don't feel valuable, I don't know what value I have to offer. What would I
Yeah.
give people? What do I have to tell people? What do I have to say? And that was really painful for me, because I felt like this was me a while back, where I felt I know stuff, but I just sort of didn't think that the stuff I knew was valuable enough. And that's why I did a
Mm.
guide. I created a guide to help people figure out, how do you know what is valuable? How do you know what value is? One of the persons that
Yeah.
during the lockdown, one of the things I stumbled on was a woman boiling egg. She was, wow, she was boiling egg and on YouTube. She was boiling egg and she had 10 million views. So, question I asked myself was, so this video was watched 10 million times to learn how to boil eggs. So, these are people were just curious to see if other people want to boil eggs. Like, as in, why exactly does this video have 10
I
million
mean,
views? And it just made me realize that what you sometimes think, like, we overestimate what people know and underestimate what we know. We underestimate how much we have the capacity to help others. And so just understanding, what is that thing that I have that I can possibly add as value to someone else? What's that thing I can have that could alleviate someone's pain? That's literally what this book is for. So it's a guide, step by step. You literally have to fill in stuff and answer questions, like assignments, but
yeah.
it's an assignment that is worth it. One of the other second questions that I used to get a lot was, if I have plenty potential, it's like, oh, I'm valuable, but I am too valuable. I know a lot of things. So many people, like, I have so
Yeah.
much to offer, but I don't know which one to
That's right.
focus on, because everybody thinks, if I start telling people that, oh, I'm a designer, but I'm also an accountant, I feel like I would confuse people, and the people would not know exactly what I am good at. And so I had a lot of questions like that, where people would ask me, that's like, I'm good at so many things, how do I present that? And so I also added parts of that into this book, where I think I shared five, but I'm going to only share two on this live. The
Yeah,
first
I think
one
this is for
is,
people who like to get the verse.
yes, so the first one is what I call the Rihanna strategy, where it's like, you're so good at one thing, and because you were so good at that one thing, when you try to do other things, people are just like, you know what, if you were good at this first thing, then you are definitely going to be good at this other thing. It's like, I trust you so much for this first thing that you did, so I'm going to transfer the trust to these other things that you're doing. So Rihanna, I called it the Rihanna strategy, because I mean, Rihanna was first known for her music. She was so known for the music. Everybody loved and trusted her for her music. But then she went on
Yeah.
from music and acted a bit. And after acting, she then did Fenty, and now Fenty is even making her way more money than the music. And she's done
Yeah.
Fenty makeup. Now she's doing Fenty bikinis and like what's it called, wears, you get. And so that's the Rihanna
Yeah.
strategy. It's like, she could literally go into real estate and people would buy it because she's Rihanna.
Transfer trust.
She's just
Yeah.
Rihanna. And so that's one strategy. The second strategy is the Chris Brown strategy, which is literally my favorite. It's like, the fact that you're good at many things doesn't mean that those many things cannot come together and feature as one. What do I mean?
Mm.
Chris Brown is good at singing. He's good at dancing. He's good at acting. He's good at, there's so many things. He can draw. He's an amazing artist. So Chris Brown can do all these things, all these plenty things, all
Yeah.
at once. But what does he now call himself? An entertainer. He calls himself an entertainer, because every single thing that he's doing, when you tie them all together, for him it is entertainment, and for the consumers it's also entertainment. So it's like, music is entertainment, acting is entertainment, dancing is entertainment, probably art is entertainment as well. And so you don't have to choose one thing because you feel like, I have to choose one thing. It's like, you can be all these things in one, in a way that is
Yeah.
holistic, that people are not going to think you don't have direction in life. The example where I gave about a designer and an
Exactly.
accountant trying to figure it out was an actual question someone asked me last year. She said, Dustin, I'm a design, like, I just started learning graphic design because I'm an accountant, but I was laid off during the lockdown. So I mean, I now picked up graphic design as a skill, but now I love graphic design so much. I feel guilty that I was once an accountant. I mean, I feel guilty that I'm cheating on accounting. How do I
Yeah.
like? How do I pick one? And I'm like, why are you trying to pick one? Why can't you be both? It's possible to be a
People
designer and an accountant.
and the
It's very
accountant.
possible. You can either be a designer for an accounting firm, or you can be an accountant for a design firm, or you can be an accountant who knows a lot about design, or a designer who knows a lot about accounting. And all
Just
of
create
these
a
are
balance.
possible. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, and it gives you an edge to sell yourself because you could go work in an accounting firm and say, "Hi, I'm an accountant." But one of the biggest challenges I've noticed is that people struggle with visually representing accounting. It's like they say accounting is boring, the numbers are too many, there are too many sheets moving up and down. So what my job is to visually represent these numbers, is to make the accounting more appealing, more visually appealing to people. You've gotten the job because I mean, how many accountants
Yeah.
can do visuals? Think about it. Then you not be doing all those when you do your own account, you now do graphs, you now make it beautiful, you now give us icons, all those things now be interesting. It's possible. So why choose one?
It's possible.
Why? Yes, you can combine. But you also have to know yourself, or you have to know like what kind of person am I? Am I the kind of person who needs to focus on one thing and do that one thing well? Or am I the kind of person who needs to do a couple of things for me to stay sane? You need to know. Other thing is, not every skill, like a lot of people think that every skill has to be monetized. I don't personally think so. It's like some
Yeah.
skills are supporting skills. Maybe I like to dance, for example, which is true. I really like to dance. And I like to
Hmm.
dance.
I didn't know
Would I not
that.
be? Are you serious?
I
Oh my
didn't know
God! You should
that.
go and check the bottom of my
Yeah.
reels. You see me dancing. What? I like to dance. And so imagine that I like to
Okay.
dance, and then I now say, oh, I don't want to become a dancer. It's not that I can't do it, but hmm, just like that. Do you understand? Like I cannot just wake
Yeah.
up and say I just want. I mean, you can, but I won't. Me, listen. Will not just wake up and just be like, I want to be a dancer. The fact that I can dance doesn't mean I have to be a dancer. The fact that I can
That's
sing doesn't mean I have to be a singer. It might just be that I can use my dancing to sort of do the things that I really want to do and use as an elevator, like a catalyst to help me get where I want to go. For example, there's a dancing doctor that exists. What he does, and I think he's a doctor for kids or something, is that when he's with his patients, he either dances to celebrate life or to make them feel comfortable. And so because of that, some people don't like him. It's like, who is this unserious doctor? But also a lot of people love him because it's like
love
this
him.
doctor makes me feel happy. He makes me feel like there's a reason to live. So I'm going to do
There's
better.
hope.
Some people come and they request for the dancing doctor. So it's like you just need to ask yourself that this thing that I'm struggling, I'm trying to fight, that it has to be the one. Is it the primary thing I want to do? And this other thing that is giving me headache, can it be a supporter? Can it be an elevator? The fact that I talk a lot, can it be an opener for me? Like, so but because I talk a lot, I can now open doors. I can now make network, like I can now build network with people that I
That's
feel
right.
like can accelerate my success. So yeah, this guide is literally going to give you all these things that I'm talking about and more. So
So
I
many
hope that
years.
you get
So
it.
many.
I hope that you get it. I hope that you DM Angel and get this book because it's worth it.
It's
Really, I'm
positive.
not lying.
Yeah.
Funny enough, quick story, quick personal story. This weekend, I mean, sorry, this year, there's a period this year I was just really so tired. It's just like I'm bored of doing carousels. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm not doing it again. I was just like, I was tired,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then it was this book I went back to, this book and one other content that a few content that I had written in the past. I went back to and I filled in every single thing, and I was like, oh, this is actually why I started doing this thing. Okay, and this is how I'm going to do it better. Okay, so I'm going to go right ahead and keep doing it and adding value to people. So yes, I hope that somehow this helps you figure out how to add value. But if you want me to talk more about this, please let me know. I'm happy to share some tips for free. I don't even have any problems sharing.
Amazing. Amazing. You all can get this book at Magash online store. Yes. Yeah. you can get the voice. It's really amazing. Like all she has said and more, you will get it. Like you will get it. And as I said, you can ask more questions here if you want to gain clarity on what she has in the book. This is what this talk show is all about, all right? And I would also like to ask you, BH, how do you deal with discouragement? You just mentioned a fact where you feel like, oh, I'm done with carousel. Like, how do you deal with being discouraged or being tired? How do you deal with it? And keep
Okay, so
pushing.
I try to find I try to find the source of what is discouraging me or making me tired. Is like, why am I tired? Am I tired out of real fatigue or like physical fatigue or mental fatigue? Am I tired because of my perspective, like how I'm seeing this thing? Because it's possible that you just be tired, and it's not necessarily because your
Tired
body
of
is tired.
nothing.
Just like you're tired of what's going on. It's like you're just done. You have to find out, where is this thing coming from? What's the source of this discomfort I'm feeling? What's the source of this fatigue? What's the source of this, discouragement? If it's something that I
Yeah.
have control over, I will do something about it. So if it's because someone else is making me feel discouraged, maybe by feeding me, like if I'm, maybe it's that I've been consuming so much negative information, I would then have to step away and be like, okay, I need to unfollow this person, or I need to stop watching the news, or I need to stop this. If it's because maybe I felt like for a split second I was comparing myself to someone, because that's not something I do very often. You wouldn't catch me compare myself to somebody, like as in a negative way. So if I find that, oh, maybe it's because I was comparing myself to someone, I remind myself of all my successes. One of the things I do is that I keep a file and well, not a file per se, but like a place where I call it, no, Alma calls it the praise file, but I think I just call it my win file, right? So what I do with that win file is that I write every single thing that I feel like I have achieved in a day. So if there's something that happens to me that I feel, oh my God, this is worth writing, I'm going to write it down. And then during days where I feel low, I just go back and flip through. It's so easy to forget how much you've accomplished and how much that thing you accomplished meant to you at the time. People don't know. It's so easy
Very
to forget. It's like maybe that time you
true.
just wanted one job, or maybe that time you just wanted to make 10 million, and now you made the 10 million, but now 10 million is no longer 10 million to you anymore. It's not too small.
Yeah.
So you're now looking for 100 million, but you've forgotten about the days where you made 10 million and everything you went through. Do you get? So
It's a big
keeping
place.
a praise file
Yeah.
also helps. I also look a lot at the reviews, and if you follow me, you would have seen that I post this sometimes. Like sometimes the things people send me, like when they respond to my emails or in comments or in DMs, and they're telling me how I have impacted their lives, or how it reminds me about why I was doing this in the first place. So that also helps. Sometimes I talk to someone, because it's not enough to just sort of process things on your own. Talking to somebody can help you sort of gain a fresher perspective that you haven't seen before. So I sometimes talk to someone. And another thing that I do is that I learn. So I just maybe go back and pour myself into learning. It could be that I feel like I've emptied myself so much that I need refill. Like I need to learn what's going on now, what's new in the industry, what's happening. Da, da, da. So I go back and I do that. Sometimes it's easy to feel discouragement when you feel like all the work that you're doing is not resulting into anything spectacular. So when you can find
Yeah.
things that shows you results, that act as result indicators, or you stop looking at a certain thing that you're expecting results from and see the other results that you've had in this other aspect, it just sort of gives you a better perspective. And then the last thing that I do, well, not the last thing, but the last thing I'm going to share is that I change something in my environment. So sometimes it could be that I'm discouraged, or I feel low because of my environment. It could just be that I'm not happy where I am right now, and I need to maybe travel. It could be that I just don't like my chair anymore. My chair is not giving me life. It could be I don't like the font. There's this time I was working on a document, and I was always tired. Every time I start I'll just be tired. And then I realized, oh my God, it was just the font. When I changed the font of that document, I was just flowing. It's okay. Like a change in
Mm.
something can just spark the creativity,
Right.
and so that's those are some things that I do. Wait, one last one. I stand up and do something else that does not concern the thing that I was doing before. It's like I just go and do something else. Something else. It's like maybe I was teaching you about
Very different.
branding. Yes, and then suddenly I'm like, I'm not teaching about branding again. I want to show you about weddings. I want to tell you about something else. I just go and do that other thing. I go and chill, go to the beach, eat food, something, something, something. And so by doing that other thing, I feel refreshed enough. Like it's like I'm not thinking about it. And so because I'm not thinking too hard about this other thing, I'm getting a lot of inspiration. I realize that we get the best ideas sometimes when we're not even thinking too hard. It's like when you're not trying too hard, like your brain is now more relaxed to access information. So if you ever feel stuck, go and take a shower, go and sleep, go and eat, chill with your friends, read a book, watch a movie, do something else, just do something else. What you're looking for will come to you. But don't just close your eyes. Do something.
Do something, do something. I like that part. I like that part. Like, do something else. Sometimes when you're working on something and it's not yielding the result, or maybe the task is so it's so difficult that you have to think through. You should maybe take a break. Take a break.
Yeah.
Do not struggle with it. Take a break and then refresh. Refresh. This is really
Yeah.
nice. Like I love that you share tips that have really worked for you, and I can say some of them I do them personally, and it's working for me. Just like the part where you should do something else. Like I like to do a lot of things. I may be writing something now, and I feel, oh, I'm tired of writing. I would have to go and think. I leave that. I think I come back and I keep writing. That doesn't mean that I've forgotten that I need to write, alright? So make sure that you use these few tips from VA to help yourself. Yeah.
As in, oh my god, I see people in the comments saying Morocco, Casablanca. Yes, guys, I was so tired. I was so tired, this year. I was so tired. So I was just like, I want to go somewhere else. Maybe this
Yeah.
area is not working for me. And so I went to Morocco. And Morocco gave me very fresh perspective. It didn't give me sha. It's like the perspective was in my body. It just came out because I was more relaxed and chilling. Yeah.
Mm,
So
yeah. You're enjoying. You're enjoying. Yeah, I also like that you share tips. Like I talked about, you share tools too that help people grow their brand, and it's been so nice. I learn from them too. I take them maybe I work, and it's been doing a lot. Just like the 90s that you wrote, I haven't gotten the book, but then I'll tell
it's
anybody
free.
who
Go
is
and just click
here.
on the link in my bio and get it. It's
I do
free.
know I've been
It's
stuck with a
free.
lot of things. Please, you people should go and get it. This work is like really amazing. Like I had to call her up here to share what she has for us because she shares a lot of content, and I even saw your podcast too. Your podcast,
My 1 minute
wow!
podcast.
I
Oh
will
my
go and
god.
do.
Thank you for
I will
remembering
go
me.
and do. Yeah, I really go and listen to them one after the other, because I see the topics there are really topics I want to learn more about. So I will go listen to them, and yeah, I'll share with you all. I'll share with you all. I promise. So
No,
tell us
when
about
you
your
do a
podcast. How
carousel,
did you do?
do a carousel or do a review. Come back and give me gist. Tell me what happened,
Yeah, I love
what
doing
you
reviews.
took.
I love doing reviews. Yes, please to
Okay, so
share.
you said I should tell
So
you
tell
about
us
the
about your
podcast.
podcast. Yeah.
Which one? I have like two, right? I have three actually. I have three podcasts. There's one I do with my husband or I was doing with my husband before it became my husband. And that one was focused on entrepreneurship and just sort of getting a fresh perspective from successful and failed entrepreneurs to sort of help people deal and navigate through the entrepreneurship journey. That one is called the Entrepreneur Podcast. And so if that's something you're struggling with or you're trying to figure out, we don't produce it anymore, or we haven't produced it in a while. So, but then it has a couple of seasons, and so that might be interesting.
Yeah, we
The
still have it
other
online.
podcast that I want you guys to listen to, actually, the only podcast I'll talk about that I want you guys to listen to is my 1 minute podcast, Upgrade in a Minute. I think I'm going to change the name, Sha. Maybe I'll call it 1 minute podcast. BA's 1 minute podcast. I'll change the name, Sha. But it was called Upgrade in a Minute, and I really love that name actually because literally, if you listen to it, it's just a 1 minute podcast, and if you listen to it, something is going to change in you. Like it's like 1 minute of fresh perspective, 60 seconds only. And it was sort of I just woke up one day and said, if I wanted to do a podcast, it would be something that people can listen to in a minute. And so that's what I did. So far, I think I'm doing season 2 right now, and it has really been an interesting journey. So I just wait for you guys to go listen to it and come back, give me feedback. It's just literally 1 minute. It takes 1 minute, literally.
See, apparently we're having you again. We're having you again, yes. Because I would like us to share what we've learned individually so that it's an interactive session. I think I have a question here
Yay! I
from
love questions.
Ashley Detail. How to how do you build self discipline to go through discovering your value without giving up?
Without what?
Yeah, that's the question. Without giving up, how do you build self discipline to go through discovering your value without giving up?
Okay, so I mean, the discovery part is not so bad, though. It's not really difficult. And discovering your value is a lifelong thing. It's like sometimes it will change. Sometimes it will be one thing. It could be one thing for a whole year. It could be one thing for 10 years. It's not going to, it's not just, how do I explain it? It's like Adora will put it right. Adora always says this, that a fork is a fork. The fork would only do what the owner uses it to do. So if today the owner feels like this fork is a cutlery, it's going to be a cutlery. Keep being a cutlery until one day the owner now needs it to maybe press sockets. Don't use a fork to press sockets, though. It's just an example. To
Very
press the socket and
wrong.
put something in. Or if the owner feels like I want to use this fork to break something, or I want to use this fork as a knife, or I want to use it as a hoe to dig something. Do you get? So you can change what is valuable to you. It can change over time. But the most important thing that you must not forget is that you should do something every day. No, okay, so two things. Number one, do something every day. Like just do something. It doesn't take anything from you. And if you really think about it, your life is limited. You're not going to live forever. And so it would
Mm,
suck that a whole 24 hours went by and you didn't do anything. And like by
right.
anything, I mean you weren't resting. You didn't say that today I'm taking today off to rest. That's not what you said. You just woke up and didn't do anything. And there's no reason why you didn't do anything. You're not sad, you're not depressed, you're not ill, you just didn't do it. It's like you're wasting time, you're wasting your life. Meanwhile, you could have been of impact, you could have done something, you could have improved yourself, you could have rested and taken a break and gone on a vacation or gone to see something or read a book. So it's just like always find yourself doing, like do something. And then if you're not doing something, be intentional about not doing something. I think that's the easiest way to put that. Then the second thing is schedule. Create systems, or rather create systems. Then the second thing is create systems. So create systems to work for you on the days that you cannot show up. The reason why a lot of us are not consistent is because we're not creating systems. In fact, last year I created so many systems, dishing things out loud. This year, I haven't. This year, my life has changed so much that I haven't. First, COVID has gone, so we're not on lockdown. I mean, sorry, not COVID has gone. Lockdown has gone, so we're not on lockdown anymore. I now have like a myriad of things that I'm doing because I still have to do content. I haven't built a system around my life, and so you can see that my inconsistency is showing. You can tell. You can be like, oh, BA is not as consistent as she used to be in 2020 because I'm not being deliberate about it. I haven't built systems, and that's one of the things that I am now working on since I came back from Morocco. Like to consciously build systems to show up for me on the days that I can't show up, because every single day that I don't show up is affecting someone else, not just me. Do you get? And so when you see that your value
Yeah.
is for service as opposed to a burden, it's easier for you to do it. It's like if a doctor, and I think about it also like this, and not to guilt trip you or anything, please don't feel guilt tripped, something else might work for you, but this is how I think about it. um if I'm expecting Game of Thrones, it's not this deep, but if I'm expecting Game of Thrones told me that they're going to air, like, I'm a Game of Thrones lover. I don't know which series you like, but I'm a Game of Thrones lover. If I'm expecting Game of Thrones to air and they've told me that, oh guys, we're coming up with season 5 or season 10 of Game of Thrones throughout next month and 2 months after, it will be so heartbreaking if Game of Thrones shows up this week, the next week they don't really show up, then 3 weeks after they will now come back and be like, oh sorry guys, episode 2 is now ready. Do you know how
Mm,
angry I will be? Like,
yeah.
what? Did I ask you to start Game of Thrones? It's not you that started Game of Thrones by yourself. Now you refuse to be consistent. So I'll be really, really upset because it's like, I've dedicated myself to this thing that you have said you're going to give me. If you said you were going to give me relief for 1 hour, or you're going to stimulate my brain with action for 1 hour, then now suddenly you are
Yeah.
disappearing on me after I've set out my own time for you. Don't try it, you know. So, but the reason why Game of Thrones can show up so much is because they've created systems. So you too can create systems to work for you, so that you don't have to be under undue pressure to show up even on days that you can't show up. Does that make sense? I just hope it does. I hope this helps you. And if you ever feel like giving up, it's okay to give up. Um, if you feel like you're trying something so much and that thing is not working, or it's not giving you the results, or you've tried and then the results you got are not the results that you're expecting, and you're not willing to try anymore, please don't let anybody guilt trip you to keep trying. If you feel like, I mean, there's always, of course, truly, if you kept trying, it might have given you success. But you now feel like that's not the way you want to go anymore, and it's not something you're interested in, or you feel like it's a lost road, and you feel like there's something better you could have been doing with your time, please feel free to give up. It's okay to give up. What's not okay is to give up, give up just because you're tired, as opposed to knowing the exact reasons why you are giving up on
Then
something.
why you're giving up?
So don't just give up because you're tired, or because you just feel like, oh, I'm bored, I give up. Just know your reasons for giving up. Not everything has to last forever. My seasons of podcast, I knew when to end which podcast. This podcast I'm starting, I don't think I'm going to do it for 20 years of my life. Maybe 5 years. Maybe I'll give 5 seasons. But I'm also going to manage your expectations, because you get tired. Game of Thrones has ended. It was only how many seasons? It has ended. It's okay to end. Let's not call it give up. It's okay to end something. It's good to know when to quit something. It's good to know when it's okay.
Yeah.
This thing has peaked.
You're done.
Go do something else. But the only thing that's not okay is to just give up and not do anything else. It's like quit and do something else. Or rather, let's say it like this. You can quit stuff to go do something else, but just don't give up because you're tired, or because you feel like exhaust all your options first. I know that when you're done, you would be confident enough to say, I did everything I could possibly do, and that's why I've stopped.
Yeah.
Or I'm done with this thing and I have peace in my mind. So you don't have all these second thoughts like, oh, what if when you're quitting something, you could easily say, oh, I intentionally quit this thing and these were my reasons, as opposed to, do you get what I mean? So don't force the value all the time. It shouldn't be that hard.
And I also feel re-strategizing is nice also. If you can re-strategize, you can leave it for some time and then come back to it, maybe with another plan.
Okay. That's also okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that. That's also okay. Another thing that's okay is because you also said, how do you build discipline? So I've told you to create systems. I've also told you to hold yourself accountable, and then also know what works for you. If you feel like you have to announce something so that you can be held accountable to it, announce so that you know that you've now told the world. So therefore, you don't have a choice, but you have to do what you have promised.
What to do.
Then if that's also for you, and you feel like that's your style, Abby.
Yeah, because I said this talk show not because it was really easy for me. I'm always a bit nervous when I come up here, but then because I already said, yeah, I'm going to have my 14 authors speak with me, I have no choice than to always be here. And then it's consistency for me. It's helping
and
me
you
grow.
see the growth.
It's helping me grow over time. Yeah.
And then the final thing is just knowing your goals. If you know exactly what you're trying to achieve, I mean, for example, if here I'm sitting down here, all I want in my life is all I want for the next 2 years is to have $10 million. So, for example, I think a better example is this. Last year, my goal was to have only 10K followers so people can swipe up. I ended up having more than that. This year, my goal was not to grow. I had a very different goal. So you can even see that in the way that I'm executing my content. My content is very different from how it was last year, because their goal is not I know what to be disciplined about. I know what to quit. I know what to keep doing. I know what's keeping me. Jigga, maybe next year my goal might be, okay, Blessing, you have tried, now do 50K followers. If followers become my goal, I'll pay attention to that, and then I will do the things that I know I need to do to ensure that I hit those.
In the network. Yeah, somebody was asking what inspired you, black and white.
Oh, laziness. laziness.
Wow.
So okay, so two things. There were two levels to this black and white thing. So first of all, um, I wanted to share stuff, and at the time, because I used to manage other people's platforms in like a while back for businesses, most especially, and I learned a lot about how to sort of manage pages. I'm very aesthetic driven. I really like aesthetically pleasing things. It's just it has to be functional, but also has to be very attractive. It makes me happier. I feel better when I'm in a place that has beautiful design. I really care about design, and I still care about minimalism as well. So I
Yeah.
needed something that was and come back. Angel, welcome back. I've already answered the questions. You watch the replay. Uh,
Hmm. I can't wait to watch it. I don't know what is wrong with my network,
oh no, it's
but I
okay.
think it's fine now. I think it's fine now.
We
Thank
actually
you
planned
so
30 minutes and it's been 45.
You've been so amazing. You've been so amazing. You've just been answering our questions, and I like the way you answer it with all openness, with all clarity, and you're not restricting anything. I really love that, and I appreciate
A
it a
pleasure.
lot.
A pleasure.
We're going to be having this replay on our YouTube channel. Let's talk with my guest. So everybody, please make sure that you see it. I'm sure that I'm even going to rewatch it. Like I'm going to watch this section again because I need to write down a lot. I need to write down a lot of things. I don't know if there are more questions because I think my questions are exhausted. Yeah, do
Okay,
we have?
anybody else who has any question, please DM me. I need to go now. So please DM me and ask me the question directly. I will definitely respond to you. I promise. It might take a while, but I'll respond to you.
Yes, and make sure you follow her too. Follow her. She has shared her experience and she has told herself. Make sure you follow her, relate to her content, share her content, let more people see it. She has so many amazing stuff. Make sure you keep sharing, like, share. If you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do it. If you also need to listen to, yes, you need to listen to our podcast. Go listen to our podcast and learn. Learn. I want you all to learn. Just like I'm learning, always
And if you're
learn.
struggling with finding your value, please go ahead and DM Angel and try to figure out how to get the book if you're interested. And then the 9 P's of branding is in the link in my bio and it's free, so you don't even have to pay for it. Just go read it. Yep,
Get it, get it, get it. Thank you so much. I'm
my
really happy.
pleasure.
So it's
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you so much. You have an amazing day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful having BA. She has told us all that she has. She has told us all that she have. And like she said, if you have more questions for her, you can DM her. And then if you want to get value discovery, just send me a DM or check out Magash online store. You will get the book. It's such an amazing book. It's a book everybody needs to get. So you can discover your value and help yourself grow. Help yourself grow. Thank you all so much for joining. You can follow me to get more amazing content, to get to hear from different creators, other amazing creators, and yeah, you learn so much from them over time. Thank you so much. I will leave you now. Bye.